Wow, that is awesome looking. Let's get to it. Just a startup on this, I want to show you. This is a crock pot French onion soup all day. Secret ingredients. Doubling this recipe up because this is for my wife's friends and co-workers. So this is going to be all day this roasting. But on a normal, you take 4 onions, 7 cups of beef broth, but this is 14. My secret ingredient that I'll show, and some light seasoning over here. But let me get these onions cut up, and then we'll start getting that ready and start assembling this in the crock pot. It is so simple and easy. If you love French onion soup, never tried it before, this recipe's for you. Well, them eyes are running, everybody. When you cut up some onions, ooh-wee. But I just wanted to show you how I cut these up for this French onion soup. So I already got 7 of them cut up, and it doesn't really matter. It's up to the way you want the thickness of your onion, and that's what I wanted to show you. Let's get this in here. So if you're hearing me sniffling, that's because I've been crying a little bit. Onion cry. So I just cut it into rings. Some are a little bit thicker, some are a little bit thinner. It's up to you how you want to have this. Remember, this is all going to shrink down. So there we go. Then I just pop it in a bowl. And then I show you how I season my onions before I start frying them up in the frying pan. I'll show you that real quick. Oh, 2 of those onions. Ooh-wee. God put some burn in those. Ooh. I'm still, ooh. Wow. You know you're getting old when the onion kicks your butt. So that is 4 onions. And we're gonna have to go over to the frying, but I like to season my onions right now. So I take my standard SPGO, salt, pepper, garlic, onion. You can do this, but this is what I think helps out, bring out the flavor of the onions too. So I put a little coating, mix, and I think they fry up with the butter, with the seasoning, so much better this way. I'll put a little bit more in there. And then I can make sure that if I didn't find one, I got it all separated. And this is how I season up the onions to give it more flavor. And I would say that's about good. But that's just the first batch. I'm doubling this up because a lot of people want this. But if you look at that, that's nice seasoned onions now. Those aren't. All right, what we do is we take 6 tablespoons of butter over medium heat. We get that melted, then we take our onions that we already seasoned. You could season them over here too when you get them in here, but what we're doing is now we're gonna work this. We need to get a big enough pan, and we're gonna cook these until we start seeing when they get transparent. Get that butter on them, mix them up. It's gonna take about 10 minutes, everybody. And this is where we're gonna get everything out of this soup. You know, the better the onion, the more flavor. With a nice broth. Oh, soup isn't for everybody, but it is one of those comfort foods that's just mind-boggling good. So let's get this going, because after we get this, now remember, I'm doubling this, so I have to do this twice. I don't have my big pan or a pan enough to do that many onions. And this usually part takes about 30 to 40 minutes. So this is going to take a little while for me to get everything ready, but we could take it in steps. Because so many people wanted this, I decided to double it up. So you're looking at about 7 to 8 people wanted the soup. Well, you just don't want to give them one bowl. You want to give them enough to have a couple of meals. The other thing too about this is I'll put the recipe up, and this will have the French bread with the cheese. But if you ever have this and you just don't have that time for that, and you made this, get the croutons, you know, the garlic and cheese croutons. You could put that in the top of your French onion. Oh, that's so good. It's this mind-boggling good. So let's get this going. It's a little bit longer, a couple more minutes. Then we'll take the next step. But this is how we just start doing it. You just start mixing it up. You see how everything started shrinking down? That's good because that's what we want. You could smell the aroma and the flavor of the onion coming out. And this is going to be what makes the soup. So, okay, so this has been about 10 minutes or so. And now what we're going to do, the next step, if you look at this, bring this down to about medium heat. And we're going to put 1 tablespoon of sugar in here to get these darkened up and caramelized. And this is going to take anywhere from 10 to 50 or 20 to 30 minutes. So we're going to sprinkle the sugar right on the onions. I like to do half like that. Mix them up. And we want to keep on mixing these up, everybody, so they don't get burnt. But this is starting to look beautiful. Now I'm going to put some more sugar in here. Just like that. Oh. You want to continuously stirring these up. What you're trying to do is to get these caramelized. Nice and golden brown, soft. You don't want to burn them, so you want to keep an eye on this. Don't go wandering around too far away from this. You could let it sit for a second or so and come back and give it a nice stir again. But those onions are just getting to be so flavorful. You could smell it. You could see it. The salt, the pepper, the garlic, the onion granules in here. It's just, this is going to make so good, that soup. Look how beautiful caramelized that is. That is, oh. This is what makes the soup even better. Caramelizing the onions. You don't have to do this, everybody. You can just put your butter in your crock pot, put the onions in it, put all the other ingredients, and let it go. But this makes a deeper, richer, more flavorful soup by doing it this way. This is the long way. The short way is let the crock pot do it all day long. But this just does a better job, I do believe. Okay, now, I would say that's good enough for me, right there, that caramelization. Okay? So the next step is to put in, it calls for 2 minced garlic. So what I like to do is put in 1 humongous teaspoon of the minced garlic with a little bit of the juice. Now, we just want this to release the flavor, get it released. So I'm going to mix that in, and I'm going to give it a minute or so until I really start smelling the garlic being released. You don't want the garlic to overpower the onions, but you want them to enhance the onions. Remember, we already seasoned our onions, so they got that. Oh, we're getting some nice deep color in the bottom of the pan. And then what we do after we let this go for about a minute or so, up to the way you want to do it, I just do the already minced up. I got a little trick how to make that even stronger, and I'll put up a video on that. Then what we do is we're going to come in here and we're going to put a half a cup of cooking cherry in here. What this is going to do, it's going to help get that everything that's on the bottom of the pan up. So there's a half a cup right there. And we're going to mix this up and we're going to work that all out. And we're going to scrape all the brown food out on the bottom. Let that simmer up. And we're going to, oh, that smells so good. We're going to scrape that all up. This is going to be all the flavoring. You're going to be amazed how good this is. There we go. Oh yeah, we got that all up. Now this is all of the onion flavor. We just got that all scraped up. And that's the base of your soup right there. That is going to be so good. Let's get this all up on off the spoon, because there's a lot of flavor right there. Gonna turn that off. Come on, get off of there. I want you to be part of the soup flavor. So we'll do it that way, right, everybody? There we go. Oh, now we transfer this over to the crock pot. Okay, when we have this all done, that smells so good, that looks so good. You just pour it into your crock pot. I mean, get it all in there. I mean, all the flavor, all the juice, all what's left. You get that poured in, and now comes the fun part. Just look at that steam. We got good eating coming, people. Very good eating. Now, it calls for 7 cups of beef broth. But I do 6 cups of better than bouillon roasted beef broth, and I do 1 cup of the sauté onion. This is the other secret ingredient of this, that how I make it. So right here I had that all made up with hot water. So I got 14 cups in here because of the doubling of the recipe. Oh, it smells so good. Pour that right in. I'm going to just get it all put in. Oh, I missed a little bit there. Okay. Now my other secret ingredient that I do, because it was calling for 7 cups, but when I do this, I add 1 package of the El Juice gravy from McCormick's. This calls for 3 cups of water and 1 of these. This will add to this and give it even more of an incredible rich flavor. Also, it will help it thicken up a little bit. Not too crazy, but I mix this up. Now, if it's too rich for you, because I make this very rich, very over the top delicious. It explodes with every spoonful. What I do then, you can do 4 cups and 3 cups of this for 1 setting. But we're doing the double, so we're going to pour that in. Give it a stir. We still need to do that other set of onions. Oh, get off there, onions. That's just giving an onion taste. Oh yeah, that's good onion. That's really good onion. Now, here comes the seasoning. Bay leaf, we put in 1 bay leaf, so it's 2 for this. Remember, you can mince these up and don't worry about it, but I just put them in whole and then I find them and then I take them out. But I know people that chop these up very fine and just leave it in there. I'm not that type, so 2 bay leaves. We got those in, letting that start to go. And then what we got to do is 1/4 teaspoon of thyme. And I thought I had everything out, everybody, but I don't. So that would be 1/2 teaspoon of thyme because it's doubled for me. And there's my thyme. Come here, thyme. If I could put thyme in a bottle. I'm a little bit under the weather, you know, so there's my thyme. We're going to sprinkle that in there. Okay, thyme is done. Oh, it's 11:30. Time. And what I like to do is I sprinkle in a little freeze-dried dill because that's me. I just put a little bit of dill in there. I just love dill. It just cilantro, dill. Now, also what I do is I will put in my other thing, my garden's basil that I dehydrated. I just crack a little bit in there. This, you don't need to over season. You want the onion and the broth to come through. That's it. Now we cook it. We cook this, and I suggest low. If you go on low, you know, the low setting takes, let me double check. Okay. The low setting is 8 to 10 hours. High is 4 to 6. I would do this on the low because you want this to release slowly and over. So we're going to start this. I'm going to go over and do the other onions that I got to get in here. But at least we could get the soup going. I'm going to put it on low, and let's see how this is after it's all done. Caramelized deliciousness. Right here. We're going to put this right in the soup. We're going to add that right in there. We're going to get everything in there. Oh, yeah. I'm telling you, everybody. Now, you just let it sit, build up that aroma, build up that flavor. Like I said, if you don't have the bread, the French bread with the cheese, or if you just don't have time, you could always do the seasoned croutons. Let's just get this stirred up a little bit. Let's just, oh, it's got tons of onions in there. Maybe I should have done an extra onion or two because I added a little bit more. I got this recipe off of All Recipes, but I changed it so much that it's really not that recipe anymore. But it was a good starting point where I just added and changed it for us. Shout out to my wife's friend Renee that just loves this. I cook this up for her a lot of times because working full time, 2 small kids, now they're in school. She just sometimes just wants to come home and have some comfort food, and she freezes this and brings it out. And her 2 kids, Dean and Bryn, sit down and they took a bite of this and they said they loved it. So this is for them and my wife's people at work to have some comfort food. We were in the minuses, -8, -10. It was pretty wicked with that snowstorm that hit us. But now you let it sit, fill up that whole house with that smell, that comfort, knowing that this is going to be dinner, or this is your meal prep, or this is going to be in your freezer, so whenever you want it, you got it. Been about 8 hours, 8.5 hours. Just look at it. It smells so good. The French onion soup is done. It's just gorgeous. Just beautiful, everybody. Can you see that? Oh my goodness, this is gonna make such good food. So, let's see. We got big bowls because this is going to people. And we're gonna take a test after we let these sit for a second because this is Mach 500. Now, since I don't have the French bread made up for this, croutons would be excellent, like a garlic herb. You just put it on top. But in the recipe, I will have that down so everybody can make. But this is for people. This is not even for us. But this is for everybody else. Oh, the onions are just golden. 2, 3. I wanted to get one bowl done. 4. 5. 6. 7. There we go. Just look at that, everybody. 7 cups right there. That's a couple of meals for the people that are looking for this. So what we're going to do is we're going to package this up and then we'll take a test. Well, we got the bowls all done right here and we're going to give it a little taste test. He's never had it before, so he's going to try it. Everybody, that's my son, Kevin. That's a little hot, dude.
Oh yeah. But the onions just melt in your mouth. Is that supposed to happen?
Yep. Very bold, very rich, very good. I forgot. He wanted a bowl, so I got to put with some rice. So he's going to have one with some rice. So let me get that meal prep for him. But this is for my wife's friends and coworkers. So, right? That's how he tasted. Thanks for coming to my kitchen, everybody. Such an easy recipe. The crock-pot French onion soup. Delicious, full flavor, bold, very bold. You could add more onions to it, so on and so forth, but this is so good. Like I said, I really do appreciate you taking the time. So please subscribe, comment. I love listening to everybody's comments on how they do it and how they change it. You know, hit the little bell for notification and share too. Until the next recipe in my kitchen. When I started, it was daylight. Now it's dark. But until then, we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.